Hello everyone, thanks for tuning in to today's second video. Going to have a look at the weather next 10 to 14 days for today's second video. So day 10 will take us around the 11th of September, and we'll be able to extend out beyond that. We extended GFS and ECM ensembles, and may run to around a couple of weeks. So I'll have a look at CFS V2 at the end of the video for the next 4 weeks, which will take us pretty much to the end of September. So yeah, a bit of a September look ahead. To come today, we've had the new storm name list revealed by the UK Met. More about that in a moment. The CT is in for August as well, so a lot to catch up on with this video, and I shall get on it for you in a second. Just say no USA forecast this week. The USA forecast will be back though next Wednesday. We've got Terry Scully's September forecast coming up for you this evening, probably around 7 o'clock this evening. Please like, share, subscribe on all the videos. Thank you so much everybody for doing that. I hope you're having a lovely Wednesday. Right, okay, let's turn off webcam then, there we go. Right, so starting with tropical Atlantic, just bring you up to date what's going on there. Let's begin with this yellow X just here, down in the southern part of the Caribbean. That is Disturbance 1. Got a 20% chance of cyclone formation in the next 2 days, a 20% chance in the next 5 days. I don't think that one is going to be too much to worry about at the moment. Of course, it might develop unexpectedly, but at the moment, just low chances for the next 2 and 5 days. We've still got Ida as well across this central eastern part of America, just here. So, tropical depression Ida is still getting maximum sustained winds of 30 miles per hour with minimum central pressure of 1,000 millibars. And that one is moving northeast very quickly at the moment, 24 miles per hour. That will be moving out into the Atlantic as an area of low pressure. May come our way in a few days' time. We've got Tropical Depression Kate just here. That's giving maximum sustained winds of 35 miles per hour with a minimum central pressure of 1,007 millibars. Kate is moving north-northwestwards at 9 miles per hour. Clicking on Kate seems, but this is going to go post-tropical by the end of week. Current position is there, and will be post-tropical by Friday. So again, that does not impact any sort of land areas. And I've got Tropical Storm Larry just here. So Tropical Storm Larry is giving maximum sustained winds of 45 miles per hour with a minimum central pressure of 1,003 millibars. And Larry is moving westwards quite quickly at 20 miles per hour. Clicking on Larry, we see that this is going to become a major hurricane, or it's forecast to anyway. At the moment, Larry is just there. By the end of the week, Larry will be around here as a hurricane, and then by Monday, Sunday into Monday, Larry becomes a major hurricane. Actually becomes a major hurricane on Saturday. Yes, Larry is going to become a very, very significant hurricane over the next few days. Let's have a look, shall we, at the discussion page and see how strong Larry's going to get. So category 3 hurricane forecast at the moment, going up to maximum sustained winds of 120 miles per hour in around 5 days' time. Of course, you know, Larry will still be in business then, so it's not to say Larry won't power up even further, and we'll have to wait and see where Larry is going to go. At the moment, Larry, you know, as a category 3 hurricane will be there, or around that area, if the forecast is correct, by Monday. But where Larry goes after that, you know, have to wait and see. Could Larry go to Bermuda? Could he go in that direction? Might curve in that direction. Just going to wait and see what happens beyond Monday. But that's our next major hurricane, Hurricane Larry. Right, talking of storms, of course, nowhere near those kind of storms, hurricanes, but talking of storms, the UK Met Aaron have released this year's storm name list. So we never did get Storm Gavin, did we? I was put on the list, but I never got to do a live stream for Storm Gavin. Maybe I'll be added back in a few years' time. But this is this year's list. Anyway, at the UK Met. So this is UK Met Aaron, and Royal Netherlands Meteorological Institute as well. So here we go then. This is the full storm name list for 2021-2022. We've got Arwen. We've got Barra. We've got Corrie, I think that is. We've got Dudley. We've got Eunice. We've got Franklin. We've got Gladys. We've got Herman. No, I don't know how you pronounce this. We've got Imani, I think that is. Imani. We've got Jack. We've got Kim. We've got Logan. We've got Mavie, I think that is. We've got Nazim. We've got Olwem. Paul. No Q. We've got Ruby. We've got Sean. We've got Tinuka, I think. No U. We've got Virgil, and we've got Wilhelmine, and no X, no Y, and no Z. So that's this year's storm name list from UK Met. We'll wait and see, you know, how far down that list we get with this season. Last season we never did get to G, of course, so we never got to Gavin, as I said. So we didn't get all that far into the list last season. We'll see whether we get any further into the list this season. But that's it anyway. That's this year's list of storm names for 2021-2022. Link in the description. If you want to have a look at those names and you know what you can saying, then you can go there and have a look. Right, centering temperature is currently in, as I said, so this is a CT page at the UK Met as well. So centering temperature is the oldest temperature record anywhere on Earth, goes all the way back to 1659. Of course, further back you go, the more unreliable it gets. So the CT for August is confirmed to be sitting at 15.8 for August 2021. So that's about bang on average for the 61 to 1990 temperature average. That's absolutely bang on the 61 to 90 average. However, for the more modern averages, 81 to 2010 and 1990 to 2020, that is actually below average. It's over half a degree below average for the 81 to 2010 and 91 to 20 average. So yeah, a bit cooler than average really for this August. You know, based on more modern averages. Been quite an odd year so far. So we had January colder than average at 3.1. We had February and March 1.5 degrees above average at 5.1, 7.2. Then we had our coldest April since 1986 at 6.4. Our coldest May since 1996 at 10.1. Warmer than average June, warmer than average July. They were over a couple of degrees above average. And then we get through to August, and that comes out slightly below average. Set against more modern averages anyway. So yeah, it's been a funny old year so far. We're trading cooler and warmer than average months, and I suppose at the moment that means CT is probably, for the annual CT is probably running very close to average, which would actually be a cooler year. We haven't been in the 9s with the CT since 2013. This year just here, 2013 came out at 9.61. That's the last time we had an annual CT in the 9s. So if this year, and it's because it's early days, we might get a run of warm months for the final few months of the year. But if this year did come out in the 9s, it would be our coolest year since 2013, even though that is only, you know, around average for long-term annual average. But, yeah, we'll wait and see where that ends up. And, of course, we've still got September, October, November and December to place into those spaces just there. Right, GFS upper air temperature and precipitation ensembles are looking like this. We're at London today, so red line is a 30-year upper air temperature average for London. We're starting off well above average at the moment. Of course, it's pretty cool still with these easterly winds dragging in lots and lots of clouds. So although the upper air temperatures are suggesting that it's warm, and when the sun is out in the west, it is quite warm. But most parts of the country are shrouded in this clouds. They have been for days and days and days. So where that's happening, it's actually quite cool despite the upper air temperature being relatively warm. We're going to lose a lot of this cloud, I think, by the time we get into the weekend through to next week. So we will start to realise the temperature potential here through through the first week of September. It could get quite warm with temperature going into the mid to maybe even upper 20s Celsius. Would not rule it out for a while. Clearly there is a cooling trend, quite a significant one actually, through the second week of September and up to the middle part of the month. We do see quite a significant cooling trend taking place there and becoming more unsettled as well. So next few days going to be relatively dry to around the 5th, 6th of September. Then we start getting some rainfall spikes and it looks like we gradually get more unsettled through the second week of September. So I think there will be some rain around after what's been quite a prolonged dry spell. And although very warm for the first week or so of September, it will probably start to cool down for a while anyway, through the second week of the month. Temperature anomalies, though, from the 1st to the 9th of September are going to be warmer than average. So I think it'll be quite a warm start to September across most parts of, not just for the UK, but most parts of northern and western Europe, actually. But precipitation anomaly still coming out drier than average from the 1st to the 9th of September, so we've still got lots of dry weather still to come. Latest wind flow map from earthnullschool.net shows that high pressure is still dominating weather to the northwest of Scotland and around the high. We're still bringing in those winds from the east, and that's still bringing in all of that cloud from off the North Sea. Just can't quite get rid of it yet, can we? Right, so this is how the UK Met is looking for midnight on Saturday. High pressure still dominating the weather over UK and up to Scandinavia. There is a bit of a fungy low over France, however. As we move through to Sunday and into the beginning of next week, lower pressure trying to get in from off the Atlantic. It is a bit of a struggle, though, and between below the Atlantic and the ridge to our east, we are pulling up what could be really quite a warm southerly to southeasterly wind. So for a time by early next week, we might be seeing the temperature into the mid to possibly upper 20 Celsius. However, it looks like it might start to turn more unsettled as next week progresses, with this trough of low pressure coming in from off the Atlantic, maybe bringing the risk of heavy rain, possibly even thunder. We might get some thunderstorms out of this through the early part of next week. As far as we get to with the UK Met, this is how the GFS midnight run was looking. So this is Saturday. Again, high pressure is in control of the weather on Saturday into Sunday and Monday. That high pressure gradually slipping eastwards, but still extending the ridge into the country. Lower pressure developing to our west and southwest. And through the course of next week, it does suggest that we could start to pull up really quite a warm southerly southeasterly flow from France for a while through the early part of next week. Might bring us our highest temperatures that we've had since July through the early part of next week. We get through to mid next week, pressure is lowering both to west and also to the south. That does again suggest that there is a risk of thunderstorms here, I think, with this warm, unstable air mass through the middle part of next week. So we might start doing storm watch again next week. And then up towards day 10, we start to move low pressure in off the Atlantic. We lose the warmth and humidity second half next week. And just generally start turning more showery from the Atlantic. That's Larry just there, of the remains of Hurricane Larry just there as that area of low pressure. What happens in the extended range? Well, that low just comes moving in. It's not a particularly significant feature, but the low does start moving in as we get into the middle part of the month. We're looking a lot cooler and a lot more unsettled on this particular GFS run, with winds in from the northwest, with showers and longer spells of rain, and yeah, so a more unsettled and autumnal look by the middle of September. That was a midnight run. This is the 6th, very latest GFS. Looks like this. So let's very quickly go back, shall we? There we go. Right, so this is how the 6th is looking on Saturday. Again, high pressure is in control of the weather. The repositioning of the ridge means we should start to lose a lot of this cloud through the weekend, I think, and we should start to bring more of a sunnier sort of air mass in from the south. That's Sunday, so you see the wind has shifted into more of a southerly southeasterly coming up from France. Again, definitely suggests that we should start to shift a lot of this cloud. With more sunshine, we'll start to feel warmer. That carries on into the early part of next week as well, with this ridge extending through the country. So the early part of next week looking a lot sunnier and still pretty dry and potentially very warm as well. By the middle of next week, we might start to turn thundery. So again, we've got lower pressure developing both to our south and west of this area of low pressure over the country. On Thursday, that again could be suggesting a risk of thunderstorms through the middle part of next week. next week. And then things begin to get shifted on as we move up towards day 10. The wind turns into the west, so it starts to turn cooler and fresher, and it becomes quite unsettled. There's the remains of Larry just there around Newfoundland on day 10, which is the 11th of September. Beyond that, moving into the middle part of the month, that low then starts to push in from off the Atlantic, but begins to stall again, actually. So the remains of Larry kind of stalling just to the west of Ireland in the end, and that starts to promote more ridging. So in the extended range, we go back to another ridge of high pressure for a while around the middle of September on this GFS 6Z, and that's how we're going to get to the end of the GFS 6Z, which again shows a ridge of high pressure extending through the coast. Remember, the GavsWeatherVids autumn forecast, haven't released our September forecast yet. We'll see what Terry Scully's got to say about September tonight, but the GavsWeatherVids autumn forecast did suggest that September could have quite a lot of dry and warm weather, and that's what we're seeing there on the GFS 6. There are interruptions and, you know, periods of more unsettled weather, but generally quite a settled and warm September on the GFS 6. Up to the 17th. Anyway, of course, we've got the rest of the month still to go beyond that. This is how the GEM is looking. If you enjoyed the video, then please give me a special like button to make sure you're subscribed to our channel. Thank you so much, everybody, for doing that. And drop a comment and let us know what you think about this and all of our videos. So this is how the GEM is looking for Saturday. Again, high pressure is through the country, and the wind direction begins to change. We begin to lose that cloudy and cool east-northeasterly. We're replacing it with more of a southerly, southeasterly type flow as we go through to Sunday and on into muddy, more unsettled with the GEM through the rest of the weekend and into next week with this low pressure coming towards Ireland. That would bring rain into some of the west. This is kind of like the solution we were seeing yesterday when the model output was quite unsettled, you'll remember, in yesterday's video. And the GM is still in line with that, actually. So looking quite unsettled with the GM through the early part of next week. It is warmer. We are bringing up winds still from a southerly direction, but certainly more in way of showers and possibly even some longer spells of rain. Moving through to the middle part of next week, again, high pressures to our south and east, low pressures out to west with the GM. We're drawing up wind from a southerly direction, so quite warm, probably quite humid, and again, there could be some big downpours and thunderstorms maybe mixed in. So the GM looks quite volatile, I think, with these areas of low pressure around through next week. I think the GM will suggest quite a warm, humid, and potentially thundery week to come next week. There's the remains of Larry just appearing on the far left-hand corner of the chart as you are looking at it around Newfoundland. And then we've got the ECM looking like that. So again, we've got the wind direction changing through the weekend. We're losing the easterlies. We're drawing up wind more from a southerly southeasterly direction. That would be a drier wind direction, so we'll lose a lot of below cloud and murk. It will start to feel quite a bit warmer, I think, as well. And that carries on into the early part of next week. I think out of all of the model output today, the ECM is the warmest. The high pressure is quite a long way from us now by Tuesday. It's like centered over Poland. But it's still, you know, close enough to keep these low pressures mostly at bay in the Atlantic. And it's still bringing up this potentially very warm southerly southeast wind. There's the upper air temperature showing a plus 15 Celsius iceberg surging northwards across England and Wales by Tuesday next week. So a bit of a plume actually on the ECM for the early part of next week. If you thought summer was over, it might not be over yet, actually. Bear in mind, this is September, so the 15 Celsius iceberg in July is going to get the temperature well into the 30s. You're going to struggle to get the temperature into the 30 Celsius in September, but sometimes it can happen, you know, depending on how much sunshine there is and whatnot. But 30 Celsius, I mean, it's only 2016, we got the temperature, I think, to around 34 degrees in the middle of September. So yeah, you can get appreciable levels of heat still in September, especially early on in the month. That's how the ECM looks on Wednesday. Again, lower pressure trying to come in off the Atlantic. Still with this high pressure over Poland. Still with this southerly, southeasterly flow. Still looking very warm. Potentially even, you could say, hot. Maybe totally more volatile as well, with thunderstorms breaking out to the south and west. In the more extended range, that's how we look. And again, I think just generally suggesting pressure weakening, lowering and turning more unsettled, turning more volatile, turning more thundery. There's the remains of Larry just there on the 10th of September. Well, that is Hurricane Larry actually at that point. But the remains of Larry are just there as we go through to the 11th of September. Bear in mind at this time of year we get so much uncertainty with these hurricanes and storms in the Atlantic, you know, so again, model reliability is going to be very, very, very low at the moment, and anything beyond sort of 3 or 4 days, take it with a big health warning. The precipitation forecast based on that ECM run from Tometeo.com looking like that. So a lot of dry weather on this ECM run. There is some showery rain making thunder towards Ireland on the 6th of September, but otherwise lots of dry weather to come really. And then later on, the suggestion that we do perhaps start seeing some thunderstorms breaking out within that warm and unstable air mass between around days sort of 7 to 10. These are the options on the table within the ECM ensembles today for day 10, which gets us to the 11th of September. 23 members of the ECM ensembles have low pressure to our west and northwest. High pressure is to our east. And up comes potentially a very warm southerly wind. Could be volatile, though, for low pressure to west, could be thundery. Another 11, including the operational run, having a lot of high pressure around day 10. So that's going to remain dry and quite warm. Another 11 just here. So that's 23 members of the ECM ensemble just there in that box. This is 11 just here. Getting mixed up with the 11th of September, I think. And this is another 11 just here with high pressure over Scandinavia, low pressure towards Iceland. And again, this one is drawing up a very warm southerly wind. 6 with low pressure to the southwest of the country, high pressure to our northeast. We will be drawing up a southerly, southeasterly with that. In 2 weeks' time, these are the options that we've got. So most options looking very warm around day 10. Today, on with the ECM ensembles, in 2 weeks' time, the 16th of September, we have 15 members of the ECM ensembles looking a lot cooler and more unsettled with low pressure in off the Atlantic, and winds have gone into west. 12 with low pressure away to the northwest. That's going to be quite unsettled too. 7 with low pressure over top of the country, and again we're bringing in these southwesterly or westerly winds. That's going to be quite unsettled too. 6 with a Scandinavian high. That's going to be bringing in quite a warm and dry easy wind. Another 6 with high pressure over the country, and then 5 with low pressure over the country. By 2 weeks out, by middle of September, most of the ECM ensemble members are looking much cooler and much more unsettled. But bear in mind, around day 10, today have seen quite a big shift to something warmer and drier. So basically, the change to cooler and unsettled weather has been pushed back. Right, CFS, and then we're done. These are 500 millibar heights, breaking down into weekly periods. The first week period takes from the 1st. 7th of September coming week is, of course, dominated by high pressure, with wind direction changing a little bit to more of a southeasterly. It should start to get sunnier. Into week 2, it's the 8th to the 14th of September, with lower pressure coming in off the Atlantic. That looks more unsettled. Could be quite warm, though, with winds in from a southwesterly to southerly direction, but definitely more unsettled there in the second week of September. Not long before we're back to higher pressure, though. This is the 15th, 21st of September, with again higher pressure ridging in from the southwest to the northeast. Lower pressure getting pushed back out towards Iceland and Greenland. That's turning drier and warmer. And then week 4 also dominated by high pressure. 22nd, 28th of September, high pressures in over Scandinavia. Winds are in from an easterly direction with that one. So plenty of high pressure to come during September. Extended spell of summery weather through September, if that is correct. Remember, CFS is swinging wildly from day to day at the moment, along with the rest of the model output. So it's all indicative of this time of year with these tropical storms and hurricanes in the Atlantic. Uncertainty will abound. But there has definitely been a shift today towards drier and warmer weather through September compared to yesterday, when the model output, a lot of it was looking quite cool and wet from the second week of September onwards. So we shall see how it all reveals and plays out. If you enjoyed the video, please smash the like button, make sure to subscribe to our channel. Thank you so much for doing that. Drop a comment, let us know what you think about this and all of our videos. And don't forget to tell your friends and family about GavsWeatherVids as well. Thank you so much for doing this. Right, that's it for day 10 to 14 day event. We've got Terry Scully's September forecast coming up for you this evening. So that could be an interesting look, of course. But for this one, that's all for now. And thanks for watching.